Hey, what's up? It's Claire. I just felt like I want to hop on real quick and make a short video on my Season 6 settings. I've been playing since the launch of the game. Apex Legends was my first-person shooter game, so I really want to hone down into my settings to make sure everything felt perfect and to help me improve. Your settings will not make you a better player, however, they will make it easier for you to make progress towards being a better player, if that makes sense. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, or if you think someone else would find it helpful. Before we jump into my settings, I just want to make a disclaimer. I am not the best player. I'm a pretty average player, which I'm pretty sure most people are. I'd say I'm like average to slightly above average. I'm really trying to bring up all my stats. I also stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to go check that out, drop a follow there. We have a lot of fun. I play mostly Apex Legends, but I might play other games from time to time. And yeah, let's check out my settings and I can talk about them a little bit and why I have them. These are my current Season 6 settings. So the first setting, interact prompt style set to default, button hints off. I just like the way it looks when you can't see the little button hints at the bottom of the screen. Crosshair feedback I have set to X with shield on, which is what most people have, I think. Damage numbers I have set to stacking. I used to have it set to both, but I found that floating numbers over the stacking number, I usually got pretty distracted and I just got used to stacking anyway. Ping opacity I've set to faded. I don't really feel like it made much of a difference. I think I set it that way a little while ago and I just haven't changed it back. Obituaries on, mini wrap rotation off, weapon cycle on empty off. I have weapon auto cycle on empty off because I found that habitually I would hit the triangle button on my controller just like when I noticed that my weapon was out of ammo, and it would screw everything up. I would switch my weapon twice, so I would switch to my second weapon and then switch back to the other one that had no ammo. So I just turned it off. I feel like it's helped me a lot, but obviously you can leave it on if you feel like that isn't a problem. I have auto sprint on. I turned that on I think like mid season 5. I found that I was getting killed because when I would try to like turn and slide, I wouldn't hit my L3 to sprint fast enough, so I would end up like squatting on the ground, not moving, and obviously I would die because I would not get out of a situation fast enough. So I have that on. I rarely find that I don't need to sprint anyway. Like if I don't want to make a lot of noise, I crouch anyway. So double tap sprint off. Incoming damage feedback, I have it on 2D and 3D both. I used to have it just on 3D, but I found that the little arrows in 3D kind of like weren't big enough. It would take me a little longer to figure out where I was being shot from. Having both the 2D little circle like in the center of the screen was just a much more pronounced indicator of when I was getting shot at, and just like gave me a little more info. And then the 3D just helps with like giving me a more precise location of where I'm getting hit from. Taking damage closes death box off. I don't really like armor swap all that often, but if I'm like trying to make a quick like little grab some ammo, grab heals, grab throwables, something like that, I don't want to get shot at and then have that all screwed up and then not get what I need to get. Pop up I have on. Streamer mode off, usage sharing, whatever. So I have colorblind mode on Tritanopia. A lot of streamers that play Apex Legends, you might find they have this same setting. For me, I found the colors a little more pleasing, just like for armor and stuff. I thought it was more fun, a little more vibrant. It changes your reticle from red to yellow. And especially with the wingman, for me, when I was trying to improve my aim with it, I could see enemies clearer with a yellow reticle versus a red one. It's personal preference. I don't know if it actually helped my gameplay in the long run or not, but I just prefer it now. And then all these I just have set to off or just like whatever. So now on to my controller settings. This is like all the stuff that you're probably here for. Button layout I have set to button puncher. I do use a scuff impact with 2 paddles. The left one is set to jump and then the right paddle is set to crouch. I do think it's helped me with my movement a little more. It's a little more snappy because I used to have to move my thumb to hit the X for jump and all that. I do still have it set to button puncher. That's just because that's the way I've had it for forever. So if for some reason I don't use the paddles, I still have R3 for crouch and slide. And also I avoid accidentally punching the air if I have have R3 not set to melee like it does in default. So yes, since getting my scuff, using it for a while, I do think some of my movement has improved, which in turn has helped my overall gameplay. However, I'm not saying you need a scuff controller or any controller with extra buttons or attachments or like anything fancy. The regular DualShock 4 is a great controller. I used it for almost all the seasons before season 4-ish. I found a lot of improvement playing with the DualShock 4, so it's like not like you need a different controller to get better. When I switched to using paddles, I did get set back almost a little bit because I was so used to the DualShock. I was spam crouching with R3 still. Now I spam crouch with the right back paddle, but it's only until very recently where I've gotten used to using the back paddle rather than R3. So spam crouching and all that stuff, you don't have to do it with any kind of different controller than the default. I've never tried any of these other settings. It's like personal preference. I've had this one on since I started playing. Stick layout on default, interact reload button just on tap, crouch on toggle. My hands are not big enough to play with it on hold. Even with the paddles, I find it very uncomfortable and hard to do, so I just have that left on toggle. Aim button on hold, L2, R2 button dead zones I have on none. I used to have it on default for a very long time because none actually felt kind of weird. It would mess up my aim. I suggest having it on none unless like your triggers are like kind of screwed up or something. I don't know. It'll just make your gun shoot faster than if it's on like a higher dead zone. My look sensitivity. So I have my response curve set on steady. I've had it on steady for quite a while now. So before getting to this sensitivity setting of 5.3 steady, I did play on just the default 3.3 classic with a small look dead zone. I had that for quite a while in the very beginning. It's a good beginner response curve. I was still learning how to do recoil, how to get used to all the controls, so I didn't mess with this too much. Then I switched to trying the steady response curve, honestly because I watched iTemp Play's settings video when it first came out, and he used a 4.3 steady in that video. I want to try a different response curve. I tried steady and none look dead zone. It felt really good, and I played with it for a lot longer, and I've been playing with it for the past like 5 seasons. It's the sensitivity I have used the most and improved on the most, so I just keep it on steady. I think classic and steady are very similar as long as you have steady with a none look dead zone. If you have it on small, it feels kind of like stiff and like not responsive. For a very, very, very long time until recently, I had 4.4 steady. 4.4 steady was a really good sensitivity for me because if my look and ADS sensitivities did not match, it would screw up my aim. You'll find a lot of people suggesting that you have a higher look sensitivity and a lower ADS sensitivity because it helps with, you know, like just looking around, turning, reaction time with a higher look. So most people will have like a 4.3, a 5.3, you know, a 6.5, like something like that, where it's like the look sensitivity is one thing and then the ADS is just one sensitivity below it. So from 4.4, I went to 4.3 because when I was aiming down sights, I found that my aim was not as good as I would have liked it to be at long to medium ranges. So I put it down a little just to be a little more accurate and precise. And then I just turned up my look sensitivity from 4 to 5 when I felt like it was slow. And then my per optic settings, I have everything basically set to 5, and then the 8 and 10 I have set to 6 just because 5's felt pretty slow. Movement dead zone I have on small. Inverted look off, vibration off. The vibration's so distracting. I do not like it. If you like it, good for you. Video, I changed my brightness around just because the monitor I have is not the best, so sometimes I have to bump it up in game rather than changing it on my monitor. Field of view, I have set to 110. I played on 100 for a while. 110 has helped my sense of like spatial awareness a little better because I can see more in my field of view. Sprint view shake I have on minimal. Audio, I turned the dialogue volume down just because sometimes I found it was pretty distracting if I was trying to hear footsteps and all you could hear was like enemy over there, you know. Music volume, I have set to 5 just because I like listening to it when I drop into a game. Lobby music off. Disable voice chat I have on most of the time. Unless I'm playing with someone that I know and we're talking to each other, I just play better if I have it off so I don't hear any distracting separate noises. I know I can also just mute people in game, but just having this already disabled just gets rid of that extra step. So those are my settings. I hope you enjoyed. This is what works best for me. I think it's a pretty good sensitivity if you want to try it out. You always hear people saying, you know, just because you copy someone else's sensitivity, it's not going to make you any better, which is true, but trying other sensitivities won't hurt. You might find something that you didn't think of trying beforehand, which is kind of how I found my sensitivity that I currently use. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you found this helpful or informative or just liked the video in some way. I upload one new video every week on Thursday, so subscribe if you want to keep up with that. If you want to see more gameplay than just my YouTube videos, go to my Twitch. That's where I play and get most of my gameplay 4 videos from. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.